Fatshark have finally broken their silence in regards to Warhammer 40k Dark Tide and the current state of the game. They went silent around the 15th of December last year, and it's only now, towards the end of January 2023, that we're hearing anything from them. There is an open letter supposedly to the players. I'm going to read it out, and then after I read it, we're going to talk about it. I'm going to try and keep this video as short as possible because I've tried to record this a few times, and honestly, I just keep seeing this as far and far worse and worse and worse the more I read it. So, open letter to our players. We take enormous pride in our ability at Fatshark to deliver a game that millions can enjoy. This was what we set out to do with Warhammer 40k Dark Tide, to create a highly engaging and stable game with a level of depth that keeps you playing for weeks, not hours. We fell short of meeting those expectations. Over the next few months, our sole focus is to address the feedback that many of you have. In particular, we will focus on delivering a complete crafting system, a more rewarding progression loop, and continue to work on game stability and performance optimization. This also means that we will delay our seasonal content rollout and the Xbox Series X launch. We will also suspend the upcoming releases of premium cosmetics. We just couldn't continue down this path knowing that we have not addressed many feedback areas in the game today. Thank you for playing and providing feedback, we really appreciate it. It has and will continue to help shape the game we love. Martin Volund, CEO and co-founder of Fatshark. Right, from the first paragraph here. Our ability at Fatshark we take enormous pride in our ability at Fatshark to deliver a game that millions can enjoy. Right. Okay. Big numbers you're aiming for? That's fine. You're a company, you can aim for the big numbers. You're never going to please everyone, but anyway, this next sentence is the one I have issues with. And there are quite a few sentences or paragraphs in this, pretty much everything, that I'm really annoyed with and frustrated with. This was what we set out to do with Warhammer 40k Dark Tide, to create a highly engaging and stable game with a level of depth that keeps you playing for weeks, not hours. Again, they're aiming for the big numbers. They want you playing for weeks, not hours, because they want your engagement. They even say so much here, to create a highly engaging and stable game. Most companies, you know, Martin, whenever they're developing a game, usually stability is a no-brainer. They don't need to point that out because it's expected. A game should be stable, you know, whenever you're buying it, because it's a product. And products are usually worth your money. When it came to Dark Tide, it wasn't. I will say that the gameplay, the weapon sound effects, the visuals for the most part, everything when it comes down to the developers and what they've designed gameplay-wise, phenomenal. Brilliant. 40k at its best. But all the little systems and microtransactions and engagement features that are surrounding the actual gameplay, you've ruined the game because of your greed. You charge people however much for the game, that wasn't enough. It wasn't enough for you. And it never will be enough. That's what's happening with companies nowadays. They're making so much money through microtransactions that it's never enough. They design games from the ground up to be manipulative and predatory just to get as much money out of your wallet as possible. Wheels are ruining gaming because they can't help themselves. And this is a word that I see constantly in relation to Dark Tide. Engagement or engaging. Because they'd rather design a game that's aimed at getting as much of your engagement as possible, rather than doing the smart thing, making the game fun, making it replayable, which in turn gets your engagement. So they're doing everything backwards. Instead, they implement the armory, that wastes your time because you're checking every hour to see what's there. They implement the requisitorium to get you to farm out pointless bounties for no reason at all. And then, of course, the actual resources in the game, the diamantine and the plasteel, that are so rare that you'll be spending most of your time farming them out just to upgrade weapons. It's so artificial, and game design is by its very nature artificial, but the best developers and the best game designers, the best artists, make it feel not so artificial. They're the ones that do well. We fell short of meeting those expectations. They really did. They fell way short, and I have more problems with the rest of this, but let's just get on to this next paragraph here. Over the next few months, our sole focus is to address the feedback that many of you have. In particular, we will focus on delivering a complete crafting system, a more rewarding progression loop, and continue to work on game stability and performance optimization. Right, so this is what's going to happen, right? And it might not be you, it'll not be me, it might not be any of us, but there are going to be people who give Fatshark props and thank them and say they're doing amazing whenever they implement systems that they should have launched the game with. Anyway, this also means that we will delay our seasonal content rollout and the Xbox Series X launch. We will also suspend the upcoming releases of premium cosmetics. We just couldn't continue down this path knowing that we have not addressed many feedback areas in the game today. I have seen people really encouraging and praising Fatshark for disabling the upcoming premium cosmetics. I don't understand why. they'll get them enabled as soon as they feel like it's the right time to do so. Maybe after a few updates, they'll put them back in, but honestly, not anywhere in this is it mentioned that we should be able to earn cosmetics through playing the game. And I'm not talking about the ones that are currently available through penances. I mean good cosmetics. Ones that you're able to buy, because they look far better than anything you can earn by playing. Which doesn't really make sense, because the penances are that difficult, some of the higher tier ones, that you should really be able to show off the gear and have it like actually be a statement that, oh, I've done this really difficult penance and challenge. But it's not like that. Nowhere is it mentioned here, and I don't think it's going to be the case. Nothing about a new currency they're going to be adding that allows us to buy premiums by just playing the game. You know, we earn currency the more we play, instead of the current system with the Requisitorium. Maybe you earn tokens that allow you to, you know, at the end of completing one of them, get enough currency to possibly buy a cosmetic. Or maybe if you complete every challenge per week, you get enough to buy one cosmetic. That would be pretty cool. But nothing. The fact that it's not going to launch on Xbox is, honestly, I don't see that as a problem. For many of you it is, but at the same time, the game shouldn't even be available on PC because it isn't ready. If you got your hands on it, you might be satisfied for a few hours, but whenever you start to realise how soulless and empty the game truly is, no, it'll just make you angry. So I wish they'd actually held back the PC release for about 12 months, because then we'd be getting the full, proper, enjoyable experience. Even though they probably would have messed that up as well, to be honest. The seasonal content rollout, I'm not really sad about that. God knows what they have in plan for us or in store. Most of the stuff in the game at the moment, anything to do with modifiers, don't really seem all that fun. But, you know, we can hope. We just couldn't continue down this path knowing that we have not addressed many feedback areas in the game today. Yeah, you could. If we weren't complaining as much as we are, yeah, you could. You would have continued down that path, and you would have been strutting like an absolute rock star, Martin. You would have been so happy with all the money you were raking in. But we realised that you were selling us a broken and unfinished product, and we weren't standing for it. So now you've had to grit your teeth and write this non-open apology letter to us because, well, it took you over a month to write it, so clearly you didn't really want to. Thank you for playing and providing feedback. I'm really sure that's not true. We really appreciate it. It has and will continue to help shape the game we love. I'm sure it will. I'm not optimistic at all about this. I really see Dark Tide as being a missed opportunity. The developers who worked on the game are incredibly talented and have put a lot of hard work and a lot of their time into the game, as well as passion. But it's clear that the leadership over at Fatshark are just completely clueless, and all they've got in their eyes are dollar signs or euro signs or whatever currency it is over in Sweden. It's just pure greed, and I have said it for a while, and I used to say it whenever I was playing War of the Roses, which was an early Fatshark title, as well as the Vermintide games, that the leadership just didn't really seem to know what was going on, and they were making a lot of bad decisions. So anyway, I'll leave that here. I didn't want the video being too long, but yep. So thank you all very much for watching, and I, of course, like always, will see you next time. Bye bye.